You go out of your way to do the exhale into the microphone. All right, folks.
We live?
We're live. We are recording. We're not. I mean, we're not live. Not live to anybody. I can cut this out. I'm probably going to cut this out. Welcome back, folks, to yet another episode of the Fight Plug podcast. We're joined today by a special guest, Mike. He's been on an episode before.
I'm back.
I don't remember what card that was, but it was Frankie Edgar's retirement fight.
Frankie Edgar, yeah.
Whoa, spike in volume. What's going on? Getting a lot of...
Let me fix that.
Getting a lot of snow. Getting a lot of hits. A lot of game.
Mike, we got an hour here. Come on, let's be,
No pressure, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. And then, well, of course, we're joined by my esteemed host and regular contributor of the podcast, Brandon Anaya.
Hello.
What's up, guys? We had an interesting weekend of MMA behind us. Before we get into this UFC 288 breakdown of ours, where we have quite a bit to talk about, a lot of interesting fights there. Excuse me. But we also had some, I don't know if I would say like the best weekend of combat sports by any means, but we had some interesting occurrences this past weekend. Some of the martial arts were mixed, some were not. Yet again, some were of the ungloved type. BKFC doing their thing. Did you watch that, Brandon?
Absolutely not.
You
what
did?
The fuck? What the fuck? How dare you?
BKFC supporter here.
Well, Mike and I watched it, so
okay.
I guess that's pretty much what your biggest contribution is going to be to this episode, Mike. So I don't have to just have a one-way conversation about BKFC. But we'll
Oh man. Oh damn! You guys just went to the sandbagging right away. Okay. All right, thanks, boys.
Well, we have to talk about the fever dream that is Conor McGregor stepping into
all
the
that for sure.
BKFC.
I know what happened, but I just didn't see it. Live. I mean, I know you have a fucking wet gushy spot for Luke Rockhold for whatever reason. I'm glad that you got to see it, because I think you thought he was gonna beat Costa, or you thought he was pretty close or had a chance or whatever, which was stupid. But I'm glad you got a chance to see.
He was in that fight with Costa to the very end.
Yeah, I didn't know you were down for Luke Rockhold.
Dude, he is wet.
I'm not down for Luke Rockhold. I don't like Paulo Costa.
When he was fighting Costa, I was like, dude, I think he's gonna win. It was like, okay, well, I mean,
everybody was underrating Paulo Costa. Everyone was underrating Luke Rockhold, in my opinion, and I think that they were wrong for that. He didn't get the win, but I think he was more competitive than people were giving him credit.
Which leads me to the next question then: just how good is Mike Perry?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's probably ascended to becoming the best bare knuckle boxer. Can we say that much right now? He's the most famous bare knuckle boxer on the face of the planet.
Michael Venom Page would beg to differ there, but I think
he beat MVP.
Did he?
Yeah, in bare knuckle, he's undefeated in bare knuckle. He's 3-0.
You guys, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's 3-0. And his contract is actually up, so he's actually.
Wow, dude, we're really. He's actually on 75. His agent, you're all naming his agent and shit. Who gives a shit? Just let's get to They gave Conor his yak. They gave him a belt, and he walked in there. Let's start talking about. God damn. Yeah. We fucking talked about an hour, dog. We got an hour. And then you motherfuckers talking about contract breakdowns and shit.
I'm just throwing it out there. He's a free agent. He's a big name right now.
Yeah.
He just handed Luke Rockhold some free dental work. That was a pretty anticlimactic finish to that. But yes, he calls for a face-off with Conor. Conor enters the cage. And the next morning, Dave Feldman woke up talking like, I'm in the Empire game because he got a free promo from Conor. And I thought that was fun. We don't have to talk about the nuts and bolts about the actual matchups. I mean, the Chad Mendes Eddie Alvarez fight was fun. I mean, it was good. And
I saw that on Reddit. Yeah,
do you think, or Mike, I'll pose this question to you. Yeah. We already kind of know what Brandon feels about it.
Go ahead and sandbag me. Go ahead.
Do you feel like that the BKFC will be able to kind of like keep this momentum rolling, or that they're going to make anything of this, or are they going to still like remain a promotion that I'm going to stick my nose in the air for because it's beneath me?
I don't know. I think they're definitely in people's minds fresh right now. So I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on the next card. I'm not even sure when their next card is. I could pull it up right now. But
didn't a guy die in BKFC or some shit?
I have no idea. Probably not.
I'm just gonna say a bunch of lively shit. I'm just gonna say a bunch of lively shit, dude.
Not at BKFC proper.
I don't know if it was at a BKFC actual event. No, yeah, it was. They did have someone. He got knocked out when he fell down. He hit his head a certain way.
Okay, yeah. Let's keep talking about it though. That's cool. Let's go. Let's keep talking about this shit.
But no,
that's news to me.
I didn't. Well, I mean, shit. You knew. I mean, you knew Nate's fucking. You knew Luke Rockhold's fucking contract breakdown. You didn't know a guy died.
But no, you know, they do have a lot of. They have a lot of eyes on them right now, and so I think they're gonna go really hard with their next promotion, which is actually May 12th. I just looked it up.
Oh wow.
Not really a big card. We got Houston Alexander on May 19th.
Oh, shit.
BKFC 19.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, BKFC 43.
And the chick that showed her tits is on this one too.
Oh, they all do over
we
in
got,
BK.
Yeah. Oh man.
And June 9th, there's another one, Stewart versus Lopez. So
I will say,
got a chance to make a name.
Yeah. So I will say, like, bare knuckle boxing still doesn't really do anything for me in terms, like, it's interesting to see if they can score some former UFC fighters and you know, some interesting, like, maybe rematches or matches that we never really thought of, like that to be possibly happening in MMA because they're more lax with the weight classes and stuff like that. Ultimately, 2-minute rounds of boxing still really doesn't do it for me. But I will say that I'll give them their credit. There are some things that to be admired. I really like their production quality. I think the UFC can.
The production value is fantastic.
Yeah, like if you're actually just watching it without really caring so much about the fights or anything like that, like the camera work and the production team and all that stuff's all on point. The product looks really good, and I think after week in week out of seeing just the exact same like picture UFC product, especially when they're in the Apex, it just gets old and stale. And they're not really doing anything new. I think that was a little bit refreshing, and it's
wow. Even the commentary team is absolutely fantastic. Their walkouts are great. It's amazing how they come along and be able to do that. But
yeah, Chris Lytle
still stuck on their freaking. I don't know. I just can't mess with Bellator's walkouts and production. Like there's just something off about it to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that could be a whole nother conversation.
So
me shitting on Bellator.
All right, Brandon, I apologize. We needed an excuse to put Conor McGregor in the thumbnail this week because it's just we got to move numbers.
Isn't PFL buying? PFL's buying Bellator, right?
Yeah, there was rumor that PFL was going to buy Bellator, get a super promotion going, and see, I have this theory, and I told this to Kenny earlier. Maybe we'll save it for the end of the show. I ain't going to go on that yet.
Drop it.
What are going to do with Ngannou?
Say it.
All right. So I don't know if you guys saw the news today with ONE FC coming out saying that they're not moving forward with Francis Ngannou.
He wanted to have a seat on the board of directors.
Yep.
Like, okay,
a seat on the board of directors and had a $20 million contract, a $20 million guaranteed contract. Turned it down. You know, I don't know what more you want, but
yeah,
I think there's a lot of rumor going around that he's going to end up in the PFL. And if what ONE FC is saying is true, that he's looking to be part of the board, then I could see him going to PFL, becoming part of that board, as well as a fighter. And if they buy Bellator, you have him in charge of basically a super promotion in some way, shape, or form. Maybe for the fighters in terms of, you know, health insurance or something like that he has been kind of fighting for. But it kind of almost feels like he's looking for that kind of position as well. And I could see that happening if he does go to PFL and if the PFL buys Bellator. Maybe it's a wild conspiracy too, but I don't know. Based off the news off today, I think that's probably where it's going.
I think that with his options becoming more and more scarce, that he's going to start relenting on that stuff about like wanting to be like a fighter ambassador and all of that stuff too. I think eventually, I was saying as soon as Jake Paul did his PFL deal, which who knows what's to come of that anymore, because we haven't heard about anything about it since that happened. But I was saying as soon as they struck that deal, he should have ran to PFL. Because Jake Paul was laying out exactly what Francis Ngannou would really want if he's betting on himself, which is a 50-50 cut of the pay-per-view. So Francis Ngannou, if you think that you're this big draw, come fight for us. He was even offering, he could. There's no way Jake Paul was ever going to fight Francis Ngannou, but if he could fight on the same pay-per-view as Jake Paul, he wouldn't even necessarily have to do most of the promotional heavy lifting there. Yeah, I think that would have been. At that point, he probably still thought he had a chance to fight Tyson Fury, I guess. So he was very disillusioned by that. But I think that's going to be his best bet. And if I run Bellator, I'm just going to tell Francis Ngannou, yeah, sure, you're our fighter ambassador now. Yes, you have that. And what does that even mean? It's nothing. He just wants a plaque on his door. Like, you could dangle a carrot like that in front of him, not to draw like comparisons to the whole feed a bus a carrot thing, but you could really kind of just like give him some bullshit title, and that might appease him. He might not necessarily know like what he can and can't do with that title, but I don't think that he's really gonna. I think he's fine with the window dressing, because as it is, he doesn't even want to promote a fight for himself at this point in time. So how much work do we really expect him to want to do for an entire roster of fighters who are eventually he's going to start seeing aren't going to help him make any more money? Because ever since he left the UFC, he's been sitting on the sidelines. He refuses to show up to events. He's not trying to hype any fight with anybody. He's just riding off of the momentum of that one time he was able to get into a ring with Tyson Fury and sell a bullshit fight that was never going to happen. But he doesn't.
And the thing is, Tyson Fury's booked now.
I think Wilder's booked against Joshua.
Ruiz versus Fury.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have. And then I guess supposedly, from what I understand, like the Saudis are trying to work out like a tournament, right? Where it's like it's Fury, Wilder, Joshua, and Usyk, and they're gonna fight in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai. So, what the fuck is Francis gonna do? Yeah, I think we talked about it when it first came out, right? Ephraim, when.
Oh, real names. What are we doing? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I was reading. I forgot which one you were, so I had to read. It's almost exactly working out. I still hope like what Mike was saying comes true though, just because Francis is like, you just don't want all that amazing talent and seemingly a good dude, all that to kind of go to waste the career. But like what we talked about was like, dude, I could totally see John comes out and wins, and then he won. He embarrassed Gane, and then you have Pavlovich, like on the six, like he's basically Ngannou light for real.
Yeah.
So, and now a lot of Ngannou's losses or Ngannou's wins look terrible. So, are not terrible, but they just don't look as good. Yeah. All the heavyweight fight, like who's he gonna fight? Chisora? Get out of here, dude. What are you gonna do? And then even if he does go to the PFL, who's he gonna fight there?
Exactly.
That's a year or two away. So it's like, dang, dude, what did you do? I was so hoping he'd fight in one. Their heavyweights like very limited, but at least it looks insane. The dudes that they have, because they're so sauced down, so it would look crazy for him doing it. And they probably would have gave him that like mixed rules boxing thing. They probably would have attracted some really, really, maybe not top tier, but they would have let him box on a couple of promotions here and there. So it's just like, dang, dude. Oh, man, I was so hoping he got a shot at one. But
yeah, in terms of finding a promotion that will give him a lot of freedom in that regard, one would have been right up his alley. If he wants to do mixed style fights within or under the one banner, or a promotion that's going to let him go off and fight with somebody else and do something else, like that would have really been ideal for him. But if we're talking about just fighting yoked up, like steroided out guys, like, dude, go to KSW too. Go fight Mariusz Pudzianowski. Like that was a joke that I made when he first Morris left the UFC, but now, I mean, if his options are drying up even more, I could start to see that become a reality. I'd be fucking hyped for that.
You don't want to see that fight.
Yeah, but they have the yoked out guys. I mean, they have fighting bastards. They have like Rich Franklin. A lot of their commentary team's good. It's good. I mean, it's good, and it's eyeballs, dude. It's insane eyeballs. So I just can't understand why I would have thought at this point, after all the Mike had mentioned all the boxers had gotten booked, that we could have just seen him go, okay, one is my last grasp at the top 3. I'll do it. And let's see where it goes. But man, it seems like he's a little stubborn, I guess.
Is anybody else sad that Bellator won that kind of novelty? Was it Bellator versus one? Or was it Bellator versus Ryzen?
It was Ryzen, right. Yeah.
And now they're the promotion that's potentially going to be sold to the PFL. Like, it's kind of sad how that was still relatively recent, and it didn't really do a whole lot for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it PFL so much as it's like ESPN?
Yeah, I don't know 100% who's backing the money behind the PFL, but they must have it.
Yeah, for real.
It's a smart cage. That's what it is. It's a secret AI. It's a promotion ran by AI under the covers, and we're gonna find it out little by little.
Yeah. No, but I do think I think Mighty Mouse is fighting Friday.
Yeah, and then Rod Ting's going to kill a Mexican guy. If you guys want to watch on
I'll be watching that. I'll be watching one, and then we have Invicta on Wednesday. Definitely going to be watching that. So
he'll be fighting.
Good week.
Rod Tang is fighting Edgar Juarez Tabares.
Dude,
look at his record right now.
That's going to be psycho, dude. You want to watch someone die? Fuck, dude.
This guy's got no record, dude. He's got...
Bro, he's like it's rough. It was a rough rabbit hole I went down today, dude. I was like,
if that was on verdict, I'm putting 600 points on whoever that guy's fighting.
Yeah.
He fought a guy named Anthony Castrejon, and it literally says result unknown. And that was in 2021, and his only other scheduled fight is Rod Tang.
Okay, so I'm in a room of Mexicans. I don't look at. I'm a Mexican gentleman myself. The we're talking about entertainment value. His highlight package. I've seen better cockfighting highlight packages on YouTube. Like the way they're mic'd and everything. Fuck, dude, it was insane.
All right, well let's go back in time a little bit, and let's do our recap of this Song versus Simone bantamweight main event that happened this past weekend. Maybe we'll touch on Caio Borralho versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk a little bit too. But what did you guys think about this Song Yadong fight? Well, first of all, I'll say that Brandon and I, we called it. We were smart. We're the smartest guys in the room. You were picking Yadong too, though, right, Mike?
I was picking him. Like, if you were to ask me who I think was going to win, it was going to be Song. But on my verdict pick, I picked Simon because I was chasing the points.
Yeah, I did too. I've always said, like, if anybody ever finds my verdict account, like, don't go off of my picks there, because the picks I give here on this podcast are like who I actually think is going to win. But sometimes we're chasing a strap on verdict.
If anybody finds your verdict account, there's going to be a lot of like Eastern European women trying to get restraining orders also.
He say he wants to... Never mind, I'm not even going to go there.
He follow and unfollow.
He's sending me pictures of toilet seats.
You send him pics of your Dove bar soap with all the hairs on it and shit.
So Song Yadong gets the late round stoppage in round 5 over Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone really not able to get his wrestling going and put
Ricky
the fight.
Ricky Simone, all of a sudden you're calling him like
Ricky Simon,
Richard Simon, Richard Lee Simon.
That's just when I saw the Simone on its own without the Ricky part.
I thought he was gonna come out with like that Mississippi flag, dude. The way you're pronouncing his name,
Ricky Simon.
Ricky Simon.
Good old Sicky Ramone.
Yeah.
He's not able to get his wrestling going and put the fight where he wants it to be. his stand-up looked good, but he didn't. To me, it looked like he kind of lacked the speed to hang with Song Yadong, who is a little bit rougher around the edges in terms of his striking, but was able to find a home for that left hand pretty consistently throughout the fight, or at least when it mattered, to turn rounds around for him. What did you think about the fight, Mike? I had to rewatch it later on. I wasn't able to watch it live, but
yeah. Honestly, I don't. If I'm trying to go back and analyze round by round, I'm not going to be able to. I don't remember it too well. But yeah, no, that's pretty much you covered it. Simone just struggled to get his wrestling going. He definitely tried, but no, the song, his striking was too good. Takedown defense is too good. I would love to see him actually rematch Sandhagen. I think he's grown as a fighter, and I think the version that fought Sandhagen before is a totally different fighter from what we got now, and I think I would really like to see that fight again.
Brandon, Song Yadong finds himself kind of stuck in this bantamweight division where there's a whole lot going on at the top of the division that doesn't give him a whole lot of hope that he's going to be able to work his way into contendership, even with this quality win right now too, especially considering he was fighting back in the rankings a bit with a tough matchup in Ricky Simone. I know we both picked Song Yadong, but Ricky Simone was as game as they come. Mike mentioned a potential rematch with Corey Sandhagen. I think that's a little bit of a tough one for Sandhagen specifically. It's going to be tough to convince Sandhagen to run that one back.
I like where Mike's head's at though, because that would just be sick as fuck to watch. But I think just from like where Sandhagen is business wise, I guess he probably would just be like, I already fucking beat this guy. And just as good as Song Yadong is getting, like another camp, another cycle of steroids. Another another like re-education camp back in the communist Chinese, he's gonna be savage. So I mean, he's getting better like on a crazy trajectory. Like a lot of these guys that he's fighting, they're in their 30s, or like it's taken them like 5-6 years to get where they're at. Like he's getting better. It seems like on the fucking month to month, this guy's getting better.
And he's still so young, 25 years old. I mean, we know the lighter weight classes are a younger man's game, but this guy still has so much growing to do, and he's already shown us so much improvement, like you mentioned, in this short amount of time.
What was most impressive to me was like his IQ. He had gotten hit quite a bit. You could tell, and in a lot of those takedown, he was defending chain wrestling attempts. He was down on the ground. He just got up. He like did it like Derek Lewis back in the day. He was like, dude, just get up. Like I don't understand. Like stand up. So I was like, so that's got to be like fucking tiring. And to have that fucking power left in the fifth is fucking crazy. Like, and to have that mental acuity, because it was on counters. He was parrying and countering like a fucking savage. And he's mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and he was still able to do that. And he was just stalking Simone. It was crazy. Like, that fourth round, like Herb Dean was just like, fuck. You could tell his balls were tingling because he's like, dude, I better get in the middle. Should I not? Like, he could die right here. So it was just like, shit, dude. Because there was and then also he got him with that fucking head rush. Like, he was rushing straight in with his forehead. So, which was kind of like, oh shit, but. He kind of, and did you guys notice? I know I'm not the first person to say it, and I don't know if it was you that told me, but he kind of looks like Crash Bandicoot, huh? Like the way his body is. Have you seen that?
Big broad shoulders, and it just narrows down. Broad
shoulders and just like a tiny little. I was like, dude, this guy looks like Crash, because my son was playing it on Switch, and then I was like, dude, he looks like fucking Crash, and like the arms just hanging.
Boudica.
For real.
But to go back to something that you said, though, that adaptability, I feel like something that I wasn't expecting, and something that I didn't recognize in Song Yadong's game in prior fights. So another example of how we're like seeing him grow as a fighter, because he kind of, to me, struck me as someone who can come with a good game plan, has all the physical skills, but sometimes if the fight's not necessarily going his way, he might stick to his initial game plan almost to a fault a little too much before. So we're showing that. Under heat, with a lot of pressure, he's able to switch it up and adapt and recognize the things that he needs to do mid-fight, which is so valuable and going to be so necessary in this bantamweight division also. If we're talking future matchups, I think that he's right around and this is a guy who recently got a big win. Also, I think he's in Rob Font territory. I'd like to see that matchup for Song Yadong. Also, kind of going to be a tough one to book. You know, if I'm Rob Font, I don't know if I necessarily want that fight either.
Yeah,
he's probably
that shit.
Yeah,
that's a career ender, dog.
My alternate fight, if he's not getting a Sanhagen rematch, is Cheeto Vera.
Cheeto Vera is a good one. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
He's coming off the loss, and we got a number 7 coming off a win. So I think they're kind of right there.
That's another rematch also, right? They fought before, correct?
Did they fight before? I don't remember them fighting.
I could check right now.
I think Yadong lost.
Yes, back in 2020. He beat him.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, dang, but you knew Mike Perry. Mike Perry beat Michael Vitta Page. Oh, okay. Dang.
But yeah, he beat Marlon Vera by decision back in 2020. So
that would he called Cheeto out, right, in the call outs.
I didn't remember.
English Yadong, he called him out, and then he called Peter Yan out on Twitter after. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name." So he's like, "I would like to play you too."
Peter Yan would be a fun one too. I would be all about that fight. In fact, if we're just talking in a vacuum, just matchup wise, like if I'm playing promoter, I think Yadong versus Rob Font makes a little bit more sense. But the fight that I think would be more exciting, just as a spectator, would be Peter Yan.
That's a fucking poster, dog. That's a poster right there.
All about that. Okay, so we transition over to our breakdown of UFC 288, headlined by Aljamain Sterling, the Motown phenom, and the returning Henry Cejudo. Cejudo has been out of action since, let me scroll up, is it 2020? Yeah. He defeated Dominic Cruz in round 2 of the UFC 249 main event. Was that the main event? No, it wasn't, because the Ferguson Gaethje was the main event, I think. But yeah, that was his last time competing inside the octagon. He then since retired. He's been coaching. We've been coaching a lot of notable names in the sport. Zhang Weili, Davison Figueiredo, more recently John Jones. Really kind of rising as a potential star in the coaching sense. But he's back, and I got to ask you guys, do you think that this extended layoff, this pretty much almost 3 years off to the date that of this card, do you think that that's going to be much of a factor in this fight? Do you think that because I don't think we've ever seen Henry Cejudo take like a long meaningful time off from fighting since he started doing MMA. So
he was always active.
Yeah, I don't know if ring rust is necessarily going to be a factor for this guy.
Oh, it most definitely will. 3 years is like 1 year. You can see some guys will come in and they'll look pretty solid, but some guys come in even after a year and look a little rusty, or they even admit that like, oh, the first round had to shake some stuff off. But 3 years is a long ass time, man.
Yes.
He's an Olympic caliber athlete, obviously. He's been training. He's been coaching. So is he in shape? More than likely. Is he prepared? Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's hard to say what to expect. He's the type of guy that he's been to the biggest show possible. He's been there multiple times, so he knows how to handle it. I hope he comes back and looks good. My biggest fear is he comes back and he looks like a dude that's been off for 3 years and Aljo steamrolls him.
That wouldn't be my biggest fear, exactly. I would kick my feet up and be like, yes, you deserve this.
I think for me, because it would be following the what's his name? Snake in the Grass.
TJ.
Yeah, it's following that fight with the whole shoulder debacle and all that other stuff that kind of took away from everything.
Oh, it would definitely be leading to people continuing to give Aljamain no respect at all.
And if that continues on and we get like the worst Henry Cejudo we've ever seen, and people are like, well, he should have took a tune-up fight, or he should have had to fight someone else before coming back, and he had no business in there with Aljo. And what is that? It just doesn't do anything for the division, and it just, like you said, people are just going to shit on the champ even more. And I mean, it's not his fault. He's fucking beating people that they put in front of him. But
yeah,
it's just with how the past couple fights have gone. Like, I really hope he shows up in the best possible form for the fight.
Brandon, what is your biggest fear scenario in this matchup? What is what you don't want to see happen?
Like a controversial finish, like a head clash cut, or like a like a crazy, like a TJ Dillashaw type injury, you know, something like that would really fucking suck.
Something that just devolves into a non-fight. Like,
yeah.
I can see that.
I just don't. I think Aljo's such a size bully anyway, and he's so much bigger. So they're gonna weigh in on Friday about the same. He's gonna be like 25, 30 pounds bigger than this guy. He's gonna be 3 inches taller with a 4-inch reach, and Cejudo can fucking close distance, and especially when he's in that karate stance. But fuck, Aljamain, and then Aljamain is, I think there's a gentleman on the card, Gilbert, right? I would take Aljo, Gilbert, they're right there, and then you got like Volk as far as like cardio monsters. Aljo's insane cardio monster. He's fucking crazy, and he knows how to use his strength. He's weird shaped. It's just weird the way he's like. It's just weird. So that's not the best. If you're gonna take time off, if he was gonna take time off and maybe fight, you know, I mean, maybe even like a Marab, you know, that might have been an easier matchup just because it's more of like a I've seen this before, and I've seen this when I'm training in the gym, and he can kind of like fall back on that. But you're fighting a guy that like I doubt. I was trying to look back at Cejudo, and he did fight DJ, so that's kind of but that's different too.
It's that flyweight.
Aljo is just so weird. It's just such a weird, like everything about him it's weird. His length, his reach, his strength, his cardio. That's a weird thing just to come out 3 years later and just like, okay, fight this guy. Like, that's so weird.
Yeah. I would say overall my biggest nightmare scenario is just that Henry Cejudo comes out, steamrolls Aljamain, and not because I don't want Henry Cejudo to win, but my biggest concern is that he comes out, gets the job done, gets that title, and then fucking retires again and plays that bullshit game, because I could totally see him doing that.
No way, dude.
I could totally see him doing that.
Yeah.
But to touch on something that Brandon mentioned, I think that's probably one of the bigger factors in this fight for me is the size difference. Henry Cejudo is a guy who really made his name down at flyweight in the 125-pound division, and that win over DJ is a huge feather in his cap. But it was a close fight.
They're 1-1.
Yeah, they're 1-1. And looking at some of the later fights that he did, I mean, to me, Henry Cejudo kind of did what John Jones is doing right now. He took the smart fights that he needed to check the boxes. Because if we're looking, and these fights didn't necessarily age well. They weren't horrible on paper or anything like that. No one was looking at his fight with TJ Dillashaw back in 2019 and saying, oh, TJ's not the guy. I mean, TJ was a champion. But once we kind of look how these guys have fallen off a little bit, his 3 most recent fights, TJ, Marlon Moraes, who's,
and he got cracked against Moraes. He looked, and he was getting kicked, right? If I remember correct, he was just like pounding that leg down. So
yeah, it wasn't an easy one for him necessarily. And then Dominic Cruz, who and the UFC in promos right now is really going out of the way, and even Henry Cejudo at the time was really going out of his way to say, yeah, no, once I beat this guy who's the greatest bantamweight in the world, he every single time went out of his way to say the greatest bantamweight in the world. Yeah, dog, he was the greatest bantamweight in the world. By that time, Dominic Cruz was way past his expiration date, but he made sure
top 8.
He's still game. He's still an entertaining fighter, but I don't think even if he was able to work his way to a title, do we have any faith that he would keep it? I think he has a unique enough skill set, and it can give different looks in a fight that a lot of these other bantamweights maybe don't necessarily see all too often. But I mean, it would be
Aljo. Like if we say Aljo would squeeze his head off, would probably pull his head off of his shoulders, dude.
Yeah. So like I said, on paper, it's great. That's the kind of win that you want, and I think that's the kind of the resume that gave Henry Cejudo the confidence to be like, and now I'm going to retire until you come back to me with bags full of money. And that didn't necessarily pan out, I don't think, the way that he wanted, but he's back now, and we have him back now. But I think that size is going to be, I think, like Brandon mentioned, after we see them on and off the scales afterwards too, that size is going to look very, very, it's going to be very apparent how much bigger. Because to me, I always imagine Aljamain. I mean, there is talk about Aljamain vacating and moving up to featherweight if he wins this fight already anyways.
Yeah,
you know, so I think ideally, not ideally, but these guys could be a whole weight class apart. Or would that be 2 weight classes? Yeah, that would be 2 weight classes apart. But then again, I mean, Henry Cejudo was calling out Volkanovski for the longest time.
Yeah.
You know, while he's been sitting on the shelf, you know, he was kind of. Oh, that was good. That going to be my next question.
When he was drunk,
with
feeling
Sean O'Malley. that actually leads me to my next question to both of you, or either of you too. Where do you guys think that Henry Cejudo's main motivation is right now? Do you think he's doing this for legacy still, or because he's hungry, or do some of that showmanship that he was kind of displaying while he was on the shelf, literally calling out anybody coming off of a win and trying to generate buzz for any kind of a fight, does that kind of make you think that he's more in this for the money at this state in time?
Go ahead, Mike.
Cejudo's never struck me as the type of dude that's in it for the money. I mean, the dude retired, you know, out of nowhere. You know, as soon as he won that belt, and it seems for me that he wants to prove something in terms of legacy. I mean, you got the Olympic gold medal, you got the championship belts. Come back, win your belt back that you never lost. Vacate it, go up, and then try to beat the one dude that nobody can beat in Volkanovski. There's definitely a fight that he wants, and honestly, I think he could put up a good fight. But yeah, I think he's 100% shooting for get his title, move up, and maybe go for that next title. And that way he could put a stamp, and so he could actually say he's the greatest of all time. I mean, because if he does do that, I mean, if he beats Aljo, goes up, beats Volk after all that time off, I mean, he's got to be up there.
Yeah, will be undeniable, I think.
Especially also with that win over Mighty Mouse, you know, which is aged incredibly well.
Yeah.
Because that dude still probably would be number 1 or 2 or possibly even champ still if he was in the UFC. So, no, I think it's 100% legacy. I don't think he's coming back for this money at all. But, I mean, the money's just a cherry on top, but he's trying to prove something, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's a good point. I think, too, being in the gym, if he would have retired and kind of like gone on like a car dealership or you know, something like that, but like being in there with like high level fighters, champs, you know, and every day just rolling with them, and like I can still move with these people.
Yeah,
and he's probably like in there,
and he's been training with DJ too.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, the video they did where they broke down their fights is amazing to listen to. It felt like, okay, I don't know shit about this. Like, I felt like I kind of knew about, and then I was like sitting down listening to them talk about it, and I was just like, dude, what the fuck?
Brandon's all DMing me like, dog, what are we doing a podcast?
What are we even doing, dog? For real, dude. It was like, have you guys you done shrooms, and then it just like hits you, just like, I'm an idiot. What am I doing, dude? That's what it felt like for me, dude, watching that shit. Like, I'm fucking dumb. I'm lucky my kids are dead. Like, for real, dude. Like, I'm like, I haven't done anything crazy, dude. That's how I felt, dude. Like, so inadequate watching those guys talk about it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, okay, but
it's that feeling of thinking that you're in the shallow end of the pool and then realizing that your feet can't touch the bottom.
Dude,
anymore. Like,
I'm in like the jacuzzi, like watching with a shirt on.
All right.
I was gonna say shout outs to Big Rig Steakhouse.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
R.I.P.
So official picks for this main event. I'm gonna
official, not verdict picks.
Official, yeah, non-verdict picks. Fight Plug podcast picks.
Yeah.
Mike, we'll start with you.
We need a little image that you can drag our pick to our head or something, and that way everyone sees the pick.
Yeah, I tried the Fig Jam. You guys didn't really use it.
Well, I mean, I didn't, but like,
I had one shot at it.
I'm on like, this guy has the fucking, you have like the Jeff Bezos setup over there. Like, I'm like gonna have to use my daughter's Amazon Fire. I fucking to try and look at it, dude. Like, it's like, oh my god, over here, dude. I'm running lean, dog.
Brandon recording through a speak and spell right now.
Yeah, for real.
All right, let's break down. All right, picks for 288. Are we going down the card? Are we going fight at a time?
No, just for this main event. Yeah.
I got Aljo 49. Was it? Would be 49, 48.
Mm-hmm.
Decision.
Okay, so 3-2. Huh? I think decision is is the way to go to. It's kind of tough for me to picture either guy getting the finish in this fight. I think the most likely finish that I see is if Sterling can lock up a rear naked choke, because I do think at some point he's going to manage to achieve get back control on Henry Cejudo, and I'm really interested to see how it plays out from that position if he can get it there. Because we know he has the ability to potentially shut anybody down for a whole round if he gets to the back. He's really, really strong from that position. We know his team really helps him, works him out to get him there. Shout out to Team Sarah Longo. I know
speaking of shirts in the pool.
Yeah, I know. He's going. He's giving a lot of hard rounds with Al Iaquinta to get ready for this fight. I'm a little bit more reluctantly, but I'm gonna go with my gut here and still go with Sterling. But I wouldn't surprise me to see Cejudo come out here and get it done.
If I see like Cejudo's gonna have that karate stance, and if he's chopping at Aljo's legs and closing distance really well, and he's fucking Aljamain's legs up bad, Aljo goes for like a fucking prey shot and he knees him, maybe I can see something like it. He's not going to get him with the hands, so maybe like a knee or an elbow, but that's pretty much all I can really see.
So we got 2 picks in for Sterling so far.
I would say, and while you guys were discussing it, I was looking up Cejudo's record. It's been a long time, and honestly, I had completely forgot that he lost to Joe B. I don't remember that. Looking at the record, I saw that loss, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought I could have swore he beat him.
Me too. Well, it was a split decision, so
yeah. So there's that, but if I'm thinking of it and looking at it through a pick, I'm gonna go with Cejudo. Cejudo by TKO, round 3.
Whoa, God, just hanging dong. Welcome back to the pod, dog. Way to go. Way to go. I like that. Dude, I heard this guy's cock off. Dude, put it back, dude.
I'm 100% confident with that pick. I think, I truly do think Cejudo's probably going to be coming back with something to prove. And I mean, his last 3 fights are all knockouts too. So I don't know, man. I think he's going to come back and he's going to do it.
All right,
that's a good pick. That's a respectable pick, man.
Give me 1 second. My son just got it.
Cool. Well, I know we're all going to be glued to the screen for that one. That's a fantastic main event. Even with the losses that we've had to endure for this card. Because this card was also supposed to have the Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush fight, which would have been a really fun one.
You're watching this for Jandaroba, dude. Let's fucking not play coy, dude. Let's just fucking stop beating around the bush, dog. We know why you're here. We know why you logged on tonight.
Yep, me and Mike are gonna bust out the Virna Jandiroba shirts and the high heels and shit.
Yeah.
But let's kind of move over to this co-main event while we wait on Mike, and I'm sure he'll jump in when he's ready. Quick turnaround for Gilbert Burns facing off against Bilal Muhammad in this co-main event. And surprisingly, I'm just looking at it right now, and I could be... Tapology says that this is a 5-round co-main event. So not even the 3.
Gilbert, way to go. Did Gilbert, did he negotiate that? Good for him. I would have done the same thing. I would have said, "Nope, weirdo. We're going fucking 5 rounds." Because wasn't he like begging, like, "Can we fight catchweight?" Bilal was saying, like, "Can we fight catchweight?"
I think they were both kind of putting it out there, like, "Hey, whatever we got to do to make the fight happen, fine. So be it. As long as neither of us has to fight Shavkat, I guess." Yeah,
that's what everybody's saying. Yeah. I think Gilbert will. I think Bilal will never do that, but Gilbert will for sure.
Bilal smart to avoid that fight. It's just oh man, I don't see any any advantageous route towards victory for him in
Did
that fight.
Usman mention Shavkat at all in his?
No, he did not.
Interview, right? He didn't say a fucking word.
No, nobody dares to say Shavkat's name, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't Usman call out Kamzat?
He called out Chimaev, yeah. He called out
Connor,
Chimaev and Wonderboy.
Yeah, and he was calling out strikers.
Honestly, I think after the last fight, my hype on Shavkat's kind of dwindled. So
kick him out of the chat, Brandon.
Hey, man, I'm happy to see another guy in here, dude. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm fucking around, but we do ride dong for Shavkat in this on this program. But we were just transitioning.
No, you said Hamzat, right? You said Shavkat. Get him the fuck out of here. I thought he said Hamzat. Chimaev. You said Shavkat.
Were you saying Shavkat or Chimaev?
No, I said he called out Chimaev, but then I said that I was basically getting that I don't know why people want to see him fight Shavkat when I think Chimaev's the better fight, because after the last Shavkat fight, it's just he didn't look good to me, and a lot of the hype kind of seemed to die down. Was it definitely?
So he was saying Shavkat. Get him out here. We're just fucking around.
He didn't look good to you.
He didn't. He looked okay.
Jeff Neal made him look human.
When he started struggling with the takedowns near round 3 and started kind of getting tired, I was like, okay, this guy isn't the unstoppable beast that he was made out to be. He's definitely looking human right here.
You could tell Mike paused, and he wanted to say he wasn't the unstoppable beast that Kenny made him sound like. Because who else, right? I don't even mean to make that joke. Brandon, get on camera. You're all off to the side. Yeah, we can't see you at all.
Are we doing? Is this like a?
No. I just you were doing this thing over here where we could only see your ear.
I just cannot believe what I'm hearing. That's the thing.
Getting closer to your speakers.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab the woof hat. I have it hanged up right here. I was gonna put my woof hat on.
I'm kind of keep side eyeing the time over here. I'm expecting to get the notice that.
Well, let's get to Jean Robo, guys. Okay, I'll back out. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Did we make picks for co-main?
No, we haven't. We haven't even broken down the co-main.
Oh shit! No, I thought that's what you guys were talking about because I heard
Gilbert's
Bilal and a couple other things.
Gilbert's gonna win.
Yeah,
I think now. Okay, well, I was just telling Brandon that I was surprised to see that they went ahead and made this a 5-round co-main event.
Oh, it's 5 rounds?
It's 5 rounds.
Isn't that insane?
And now, even still, I do think that Gilbert is the healthy favorite in this fight.
Yeah.
But now that I know that it is 5 rounds, I think that helps Bilal a little bit. I think that Bilal has better cardio, and now I think that some of that comes from the fact that Gilbert Burns just fucking swings harder. They probably have very similar cardio, but Gilbert Burns uses it. He throws stuff that I think for the kind of game plan that Bilal probably wants to work, and he probably wants to really pressure Gilbert Burns, make him uncomfortable, make him back up, and try and just kind of force the fight on him and not give him any room to get comfortable or settle into his stance or anything. I think that it favors him to be able to fight 5 rounds. But that also means he needs to be perfect for 2 additional rounds. It's a tough one. I'm gonna stubbornly pick Bilal for the upset because I'm just gonna keep riding this train. I've picked him in his last 3 fights and it's worked out for me. I know he's not the favorite here by any means. He's a healthy dog, I think. I think
he's definitely one of those dudes that you'll always bet against, yet he somehow always comes out on top.
I've done that.
I think I've literally bet against him every fight, and this guy always wins. And Kenny's always cashing in on it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's our notice that the call ends in 10 minutes. So
I got Marina Rodriguez. I'll just throw that in.
I think what we'll do. Okay, so we all just gave our picks for the co-main event. We don't have to give that much of a breakdown. But let's go ahead and end this right here and jump into another call so that way our time refreshes and I'll know exactly where the cutoff time is for the edit. So I'll send you guys another link right now.
All right.
Okay.
All right, we're back from our commercial break.
All right, well, it's crazy. We got breaking news as of about 10 minutes ago. Brian Ortega versus Giga Chikadze.
When?
I don't got a date on that. It just got posted. I saw.
That's a tough question. Just right. When?
Dang, you break up with Cortez and then get your fucking ass whooped on national TV. That's 2 big losses in a fucking year, dude.
So
that
it's a good fight.
That's a great fight. The battle of 2 guys who just got posted by Max Holloway.
Yeah, for real.
That's like it's kind of fucked up and a testament. I don't mean to just turn around and make this about Max Holloway, but honestly, whenever I picture Brian Ortega, my memory goes straight to him just getting posterized and just getting fucking sunned by Max Holloway for 5 rounds. It's kind of crazy the kind of impact that he left on that guy's career.
I think at the end of, I think once he's done, I think that'll be one of the few fighter posters I end up putting up somewhere in a frame. It'll be a Max Holloway poster.
I always see him trying to understand what the fuck Yair just said. Like, what did he just say?
Just struggling with the Spanish. Palabra.
Simon.
Are my early kind of like gut reaction to that matchup specifically, though, Chikadze versus Brian Ortega is, I think that should be a good opportunity for Brian Ortega. It's providing that he sticks with the game plan that, you know, do what got him to the dance and get Chikadze down. And I think that should be
for every passing second that he's standing with him, I'm going to start yelling shoot.
Yes, exactly. That is not
like if the game plan is not come out and take this guy down, you deserve to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not one where I want to see Brian Ortega even talk about how he wants to put his improved boxing or stand up on display. Giga Chikadze is not the guy.
That's not the guy. That's not the guy you practice at against.
No, not at all. Thanks for breaking that news for us, though. Also, you know, we didn't mention, but it was posted, you know, now like an hour ago or a couple hours ago. But Juliana Pena out of the Amanda Nunes trilogy fight, and insert Irene Aldana. So now it's going to be Nunes versus Aldana.
Everybody likes that. Everybody likes that. God is real.
Yeah.
Canada, the whole nation of Canada is super excited.
Yeah, big improvement there. I don't really see too many people who were very hyped for Pena getting another shot at that. Very undeserved, and and
to be honest, like that whole fight being made almost kind of seemed like a knee-jerk reaction, all because Valentina lost and they didn't know what to do, so they're just like, all right, Nunes versus Pena 3.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
So
I'm pulling for Aldana in that fight. I hope she does well. I think she has a chance to do well in that fight. And you know, I think it could go very bad for her if Amanda Nunes randomly decides that she wants to take her down. But Nunes never really does. The only time she ever did that was against Germaine de Randamie, where I think she knew going into that fight, this ain't the girl to stand
Valentina?
with. True.
Here we go, guys. Just sit back and listen, boys.
The opportunity.
our memories for WMMA are way better.
Here we go, boys.
All right.
It's like watching National Geographic, and like the hyenas are like they're kind of like they see like a dead body. The lion's kind of sleepy. It's like in your element, dude. Go ahead. I'm not in the back. Notice, Ephraim turns his hat around to expose he's also wearing a minor league baseball cap as well. Not to be outdone.
He begins to nibble on the WMMA fight. Let's nibble on this WMMA fight. Jessica Andrade versus Yan Xiaonan, one of Brandon's favorite fighters, Yan Xiaonan, coming from the beautiful country of China. This is a great strawweight matchup, number 7 versus number 6 on Tapology. Let me see what the ranking is for the official UFC rankings. Let me check that right now. This is number 4 for Jessica Andrade versus number 6 for Yan Xiaonan. So not all that different from where they're at on Tapology.
Both coming off a loss, right?
Both coming off of a loss. Jessica Andrade coming off of her stunning loss to Erin Blanchfield up at flyweight. So this is her coming back down to strawweight. And no, Yan Xiaonan is not coming off of a loss, is she?
Oh, she's not. Why did I think
she beat
lost
Mackenzie Dern, right?
Yeah.
She beat Mackenzie Dern?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Dang,
majority decision.
remember, boys. I remember. Bro, I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Like, that was the money I lost on Mackenzie Dern, dude. I was like, I didn't even have money for family. I wouldn't have had money for a lawyer, dude. I was gonna lose my kids, dude. God damn.
And before that, she was coming off of a loss to Marina Rodriguez, a split decision loss that I had that for Yan Xiaonan, even though I'm a big Marina Rodriguez fan. And I was picking Rodriguez in that fight. I thought Yan Xiaonan won that also. If anything, if I'm looking at her record, I think that other than her very early career loss way back in the day, I think Carla Esparza is really the only recent loss that Yan Xiaonan should really have. But even in that, starting from that Marina Rodriguez fight, I think we really started to see the improvements that she started to make in her game. And we're going to make comparisons to Song Yadong too, because she's also training out at Team Alpha Male. And I think that it's done wonders for both of their games. Yan Xiaonan, her striking's improved greatly. Her lateral movement and her footwork has improved greatly. And I think that that's going to pay dividends for her in this fight with Jessica Andrade, because for one, I think Jessica's never really shown us that this is an issue before, but at some point, especially as she's getting up there, and well, how old is Jessica Andrade? I'll pull that up. But at some point, you have to figure that all of the moving up and down, straw weight back up to flyweight, back and forth, isn't necessarily going to be such a positive for her. Promotionally, Definitely. It's great. You know, she could inject herself into interesting fights in both divisions and interesting matchups. And even if she takes a loss at flyweight, she can go back down and be like, well, I've been a factor at strawweight this whole time, and here she is in a top 5 fight against another girl. You know, in this fight, you know, if they decide to screw over Amanda Lemos, could mean contendership for whoever wins this fight here. But I think that kind of looking at what Erin Blanchfield was able to do to Jessica Andrade on the feet, I don't see any reason Yan Xiaonan shouldn't be able to replicate some of that. If she comes out, moves laterally, like I said, throws straight punches, you know, maintains her distance. I think she has the speed to do it. You know, I think that the looping, windmilling haymakers of Jessica Andrade, like that's kind of starting to be exposed a little bit. And we that's been exposed for a while now. We all saw what Joanna did to her back in the day.
Yeah. But it's always just about weathering that early storm.
And for the longest time, you really needed to be like one of the highest level type of strikers in WMMA, or at least in the strawweight division, in order to do that to her. A lot of these other girls were still just overwhelmed by the pressure that she put on her. But I think the improvements that we've seen from Yan Xiaonan, I think this might end up being a very impressive win for Yan Xiaonan. I mean, I guess if I'm going to put my early pick out there, I'm going Yan Xiaonan in this fight.
That's fair. I honestly... I'm gonna pick Andrade. I know the weight switching weight classes is definitely a problem, but I don't believe she's actually cutting a lot of weight.
She's moving up, right? Strawweight, is it? Or
is she moving up or is she moving down?
She's moving down.
Yeah.
Moving down.
Okay. So I don't think she was cutting a lot of weight already, and now that she's moving down, it's probably not as difficult. But I mean, she's lost to Blanchfield, who I think is going to be a champ, and Valentina was her other loss. Other than that, she's beaten everybody.
And breaks off of Lauren Murphy.
Not beating, she fucking straight up embarrasses everybody.
Life-changing fights. Yeah. That's the bad thing about Jessica. Not the bad thing about it. It's a great thing about Jessica Andrade, but that's the bad thing for her opponents. Is if you're in a losing on the losing end of a Jessica Andrade fight, like she's going to shorten your lifespan. Like she's going to make you're going to be different.
And there's a lot of times where I don't think people realize how hard she hits, and they have that game plan, and then when they get hit, they're like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't. They start to second guess their striking. And I honestly think that's what's going to happen in the Xiaonan fight. I think Andrade is going to catch her early, and it's going to make her tentative throw strikes.
Yeah,
and it's going to open up something.
Rough shower, like after getting fucked up by Jessica Andrade, just that blood running through the fucking drain. Just like, what the fuck was that? Right?
Give me a mental picture. Yeah, no, it could be a tough night for Yan Xiaonan. And like I said, I'm confidently picking her, but like Mike said, a lot of times it's on paper, the X's and O's, even if you have the cleaner boxing, the better footwork or anything like that, all it takes is feeling that power from Jessica Andrade to potentially make you different, like I said. And we'll see how Yan Xiaonan handles that pressure, because whether those punches are landing or not, it's still going to be pressure, and it's still going to force a reaction out of Yan Xiaonan, and it's whether she can really stick to the game plan and make this one happen. What do you guys feel about if this fight goes to the ground, or if Jessica Andrade tries to wrestle or take Yan Xiaonan down? What do you feel about that matchup?
I think just the strength. WMMA is just kind of like awkward. The takedowns are pretty awkward anyway, and the way it gets there. But just that strength and the upper body strength is just insane. I just don't, like Mike said, like I think everyone kind of like plans for it, and then when you feel it, it's way different. And I've been in situations like that. Not so much like I'm saying like I'm fighting, but just like when you don't realize someone is that fucking strong, it is such a weird occurrence. It's such like you can't even explain it. And you can train, and then especially if it's something you've trained for your whole life, and then someone's just like different than everything you've ever seen. It's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? So I feel like I agree with Mike that that's it. It's going to be wherever it is striking. I think like it's going to be cleaner striking, but on the ground, I just don't know. I just don't know if she has that strength.
Yeah,
I honestly don't even know if it actually goes to the ground.
Right. Fair.
Yeah, I guess you kind of figured like it only goes to the ground if Jessica Andrade is losing in the stand-up, and she has to take it there for that reason.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Over under weird Ronda Rousey's hip toss like shakedown attempts on this one, guys. What do you think? 3?
Are we gonna take the head and arm throw bet? Will there be a head and arm throw attempt?
Yeah, I think
I'll take that. I'll take that bet.
1.5. Do you think there'll be more than 1.5? I'm gonna give you the hook.
No.
In this fight alone, or on the card in total?
In this fight alone.
I was gonna say that. Are you gonna take the over?
Yeah.
So 2 head and arm throws.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Just in this fight.
Yes, in this fight.
I'll take the under. If you were going to say the whole card, there's 2 WMMA cards.
Yeah.
I would have taken the over there, but I'll take the under on this one.
Sweet. Okay, good. I got to keep it cool. I got to like throw my weight around a little bit, like make some weird shit up to like hang with you boys in this arena.
That's a good one. I like that for WMMA fights, the over-under head and arm throw challenge.
You see that?
Yeah, appreciate that.
I feel like Ralph. Remember when on The Simpsons when Ralph and that new girl and Lisa were like friends, and then Ralph at the end like walking with them home? I feel like that right now. Like I'm just the moron with the fucking Star Wars action figures.
I'm looking at Yan Xiaonan's record right now, and trying to kind of assess which, if any, of her previous opponents present something similar to just the style of fighting that Jessica Andrade is going to bring, and also just the body type, and none of them really do. So I think that's going to be a tough one too, because I think she's legitimately not. And then there's few who can replicate that style or present that kind of a challenge that Jessica Andrade does, unless you move up to featherweight, I guess, and fight Josiane Nunes. Like there's not a whole lot of that out there, and especially the moving up and down divisions and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a different look for her for sure. I think this is going to be a really interesting fight. Let me move back to the full card and see what else we can cover here, because there's a lot of interesting fights here, but we don't have to go too far over our hour. Mike, I'm sure you have some thoughts about this Drew Dober versus Matt Frevola fight. I want to say that's a can't miss of the card for you. Well, for all of us.
It should be on the main card.
It should be on the main card over Kron Gracie and Charles Jourdain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, easy over under. Do we get to see Kron Gracie's dad?
I'm sorry. Kron Gracie in 2023 just isn't doing anything for me. And if he loses this fight, we're never going to see him again. I don't necessarily know that he's going to lose this fight. I'm not going to say that confidently, but I really do think he's getting main card booking because he runs around with the scrap pack and his last name is Gracie. I don't think he's really shown us enough in MMA to.
So he's 5-1, no?
Yeah, he's 5-1. So, and he took a long extended layoff after that Cub Swanson loss.
That Cub fight was dirty.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see. It's always a, what would you even liken it to when you see the rare Gracie fight in the UFC at this, at this date, this far into the game, one of the originators, a guy who's related in that lineage. I already said it doesn't really do anything for me, but I do kind of wonder what it means to the casual fandom a little bit more to see like, oh, Gracie's fighting.
I think the name still has enough weight in the MMA world that people that are familiar with the name are going to hear it and they're going to be like, oh, the Gracie's still in the UFC. Like, I have a feeling that's something, like if my dad heard that he was fighting, that's something that he would be kind of aware of. Or like that, and the name, it's a legendary name in the sport. So if someone's on the card, chances are people are going to watch it.
Brandon, do you have a sleeper fight of the night? What is your cannot miss fight of the night? Something that's not necessarily a big headline grabber, but
Drew Dober fighting a white guy. It's going to be interesting to see how he does. That's probably where I'm going to go. I just don't know if he's going to have that same motivation. So it's going to be interesting to see where he draws from on this time. Yeah.
Double Ray Longo titties. You get to see it, man. I think we're all a little sad about Bryce Mitchell having to drop out of the Movsar Evloev fight.
I was just about to say, like, that fight got pulled off a verdict, so there is a good chance that Dober does get moved to the main card now. I can't see them just keeping that fight still in the main card, but hopefully it gets swapped around.
Yeah, I would love to see our beloved Giga Chad Drew Dober with the alliterative name also too. He needs a nickname that really plays into that, by the way. But yeah, Matt Frivola, it's an interesting matchup. I would say for my kind of sleeper pick of the night, I think it's light heavyweight, so it could end up just being a mess. But Kennedy Nzechukwu is a very violent, dangerous man, and he's getting in there with Devin Clark. This isn't really a fight that means anything at the top of the light heavyweight division.
Blood
at least
gods.
It's a blood god fight for sure.
Blood gods, dude. Here you go, boys.
Yeah,
Please.
on Tapology, it's the number 22 ranked light heavyweight in the world versus the number 20 ranked. So, yeah, no title or even top 10 implications in this fight at all. But when Kennedy and Nzechukwu does his thing, people go to sleep, and I think that that's one I'll be watching intently for sure.
I think for my sleeper fight, it's definitely Rodriguez versus Johnny Roba.
There we go.
Notice Michael brings it back.
I mean, come on. This is another fight that probably shouldn't even be this low on the card. It could potentially be main card, maybe even top of the bill on the Fight Pass or the ESPN prelims or whatever. But no, dude, like you got Marina Rodriguez, who's coming off of what? The last time Amanda Lemos. After that, she's beaten.
Can I go full disclosure here? I remember last time when you guys did the pod, right? And I was like, I'm gonna listen to it, and I went running, right? I went jogging for and I was like so excited, and I told Ethan about it, like what you guys did for Frankie Edgar, that was cool as fuck to listen to you guys talk about it. That was exciting. And then I started laughing because I was jogging. I tripped because you guys were talking about the bitches so much. I was just like, damn, dude, I cannot wait to bring this shit up. And then I fucking tripped, and I was like, okay, dude, don't. All right, just chill. So karma got me, but it was just, I remember just kind of closing my eyes for a second to laugh, and I just fucking tripped.
While we were talking about Karolina Kovalkovich or some shit.
I Mike called her KK. I was like, dude, you called her KK like 12 times. I just fucking chilled. But that's a hard name. I mean, fair enough. That's a hard name to say, but yeah.
But no, so yeah, I think it's a fantastic fight. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Remember when Dylan Dennis thought that? Remember when Dylan Dennis thought that Jean Deroba was the 18-year-old kid on the
Fucking hell.
He's like, no, I like him. That's that kid, right?
He was like, I'll even beat that guy. Right?
That was the only good thing about that interview, dude.
Damn.
Don't miss that fight. It's gonna be a good fight.
It is actually. Yeah, no, you're being on though. That's for sure. I can't wait. I love the hat she wears when she walks out.
I think to touch on that fight a little bit though, I think that's an easy fight for Marina Rodriguez, man. I think she's gonna come out. At this point, she has.
I mean, that's what everybody thought about the Lemos fight too.
I didn't think that about the Lemos fight at all.
Yep.
I was very. No. I mean, I was
a little spicy.
I was a tough ass matchup. Yeah. I knew what happened in that fight could happen, even if I was picking Marina Rodriguez. She never got going in that fight though. She let Lemos kind of dictate where the fight went right away, backed her up, and just it was lights. And that was a little bit of an early stoppage, but it was one where Lemos was going to win that fight. But I think Marina Rodriguez has to recognize now how bad she got screwed out of a title shot, because she had pretty much done enough to get it locked up even before she got into the cage with Amanda Lemos. And she had to go in there and do the damn thing again, and she got posterized for it. I think that coming in with Vina Jandiroba, she's getting a girl who really doesn't have any hands, is going to try and take her down immediately. And I think she's going to take this opportunity to remind people that I think she's going to kind of liken it to the performance that she had against Amanda Ribas. Kind of remind people like what kind of power she has in her hands. She just can't take any rounds off though. Fuck you, Brandon. What are you laughing at?
Neither of you knew that song Yadong fought Chito Vera, but you're fucking like round for round. Amanda Lemos had fucking like, oh no, but she sprained her ankle, and then she remember she
sprained her ankle.
Like you know, he like no.
I guess for me, I think Jandiroba's. She's pretty relentless in terms of her pressure, I want to say.
I'm going to isolate just that little sound bit. She's pretty. for me, Jandiroba, she's pretty, and that's it. That's going to be my mic sound drop forever.
I honestly think I think she's going to bring the fight to her, and I can see Jandiroba winning.
And that I think that's actually going to I could, Virna Jandiroba is not a girl who takes her time either. She likes to get in there, and even if she doesn't have any business striking with somebody, she's going to throw her hands too. I think that's what's also going to help Marina Rodriguez too, because I think you need somebody to bring. Yeah, you need somebody to bring the fight out of Marina Rodriguez. Otherwise, she's a little bit of a slow starter. She will take rounds off.
Yeah.
So
and in a 3-round fight, losing that first round or giving it up could be bad, especially if Jandiroba comes out and just maintains that pressure. Keeps her against the cage. I got her winning, man.
All right, cool. So we have different picks there. So that should be fun. You want to make a pick for this fight, Brandon?
No, I just would like something to happen that would like make this a little more spicy, because it was just like the they're like back and forth. Interesting.
Oh, like you think that?
You would. Dang, I love this shit, dude.
What are some other interesting news or headlines or anything happening in MMA that you guys want to touch on before we wrap up? I think we kind of discussed some of the most breaking news that's happened.
Yeah, and he even broke down the Ortega.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just Rodtang's gonna kill somebody. Like dude, that is messed up, because normally on Cinco de Mayo they try to like set the Mexican up. And like you could tell this is an Asian promotion, dude. They're just like, I felt so bad, and I was trying to find like recordings of this guy, or like it's all in Spanish language, and it's just like, dang, dude, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
On his Tapology page, there's an image of him holding a belt. Yeah. So he's fought somewhere. He's had some fights.
I have a friend, dude. You might know him, so I won't name him, but he photoshopped his fights on. I think I told you this. There's Muay Thai fights. It used to be on Plaza Drive. They used to have like amateur Muay Thai in Visalia.
Oh, somebody's a Muay Thai world champion coming out of those fights for sure. Yeah. There is somebody who competed there who's calling themselves a Muay Thai world champion right now.
And then my buddy, I don't know how he did it, because he's like borderline, like.
Borderline. We can leave it at that.
He photoshopped himself into, dude, and it was all whack, and it was all in his garage, dude. He's like, "No, dude, I'm in it," and like, because we're chilling with some friends, and like the girls are there, everyone's partying and shit, you know. And then he starts talking about it, and you're like, "No, I'm in it," and then you're like, "Wow, fool, check it out," and he like pulls the poster. All the other ones are like real posters where the guys are like, and then it's like him and him and his fucking with his big five fucking his big five punching bag like standing next to it. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck?
Oh, that's hilarious. I like how you didn't want to share his name because I might know him, not just because it's just an embarrassing ass story for him in general.
Oh, that's not the most embarrassing thing that happened to that dude that night.
That reminds me, by the way, of that story though that Joe Rogan would tell about the fake
guy that killed somebody.
Yeah, that he would drive him out to the woods because he said he was going to go into some secret tournament or something. So he would take him out there with a duffel bag that was clearly like big trophy sized, and they'd be like, "Come back and pick me up in a couple days." And he'd come back and he'd be standing there with the trophy that was clearly in that bag that he went out there with.
No, and then this guy would tell people he was going to fight, and then he would go, well, we all know where the town we're at, right? He would run to that 4-way stop on Manning by Jack in the Box and just fucking shadow box in the corner because he knew everybody came home from work at 5:30 from Fresno. So he was like, dude, I saw him shadow box. I mean, he's obviously gonna fight this weekend, dude. It's like, what the fuck? And then it got sad because like everyone was like, isn't that your friend? And I was like, oh man.
It got sad.
No.
I saw a guy a couple weeks ago at a 4-way stop. He had a WWE belt. He was just cutting a promo on the world, dude.
Damn.
He was just like yelling at everybody. And he's holding the belt up, and I was like,
yeah, the same guy I was talking about, he got fired from a bank, and you know, like, you got to wear a suit at the bank. So he would go to the junior college close by wearing a suit to try to like hit on chicks. Like right after he got fired, he would just like walk into classes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Off the topic of fighting or eccentric people that we know in real life. Before we wrap up, Brandon, I wanted to give you an opportunity to
please don't
eulogize your Sacramento Kings if you wanted to, or shit on the Golden State Warriors, but not both.
I think it was just interesting the reception that Draymond got, where he's like, I lost all respect for Sabonis, and it's like, dude, you fucking tried to break his ribs, okay? And then he goes, and then everyone was like, what did he do? Draymond doesn't even do nothing. He broke his teammate's face in beforehand. Steph Curry's amazing, so what can you do? Steph Curry's absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The Kings don't have that. Fox maybe at some point, De'Aaron Fox, but he's not that yet, obviously. And they're just like, hopefully now that they've done this, the 3 seed, they have pieces. They have Monk, Fox. Kevin Huerter should learn Chinese because he needs to go play in China because you fucking suck. They got a good rookie. Hopefully, because Sacramento's been hard to get. They have to get big names in trade. They don't really get free agents because it's Sacramento.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like some of those like rim protector type guys that are like mercenaries that'll come for the money will come to Sacramento, seeing like, okay, well, I can potentially contend in the West. So. But yeah, that fucking sucked. Thanks. I thought I almost got through it, but thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
I was fucking. I just pulled that fucking snub nose back out. I just put it away, dude.
How did your sticking with they're sticking ball sports though? How did your San Francisco 49ers do in the draft? What did you think about their draft picks?
They got a great safety. That was awesome. That guy's amazing from Penn State. He's really good. And then they always get like, just watch, like if you watch 49er draft picks, watch the undraft from the 6th to 7th round. If they take a running back, just know for sure that guy, if you guys play fantasy, just like put that guy down in a dynasty league. So they got a gentleman for like whoever, just go and check that, and then one of those dudes is going to get you like 600 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I'll have to remember that. How about your Ravens, Mike? Did you pay attention to the draft? Do you watch college ball? Would you even know if they're, how good the?
Well, I know the main thing was obviously the whole Lamar thing. They finally signed him to that contract, the 260 mil. So they got him. They picked up OBJ. They drafted another wide receiver. So they're definitely starting to build the team and get Lamar those tools. I think they finally signed Roquan Smith as well. So So they're definitely building that defense and offense, and it really feels like they're making a push for the Super Bowl with this roster that they're building. So,
yeah, and now with the inclusion of Antonio Brown also, I'm sure that you guys are going to be firing on all cylinders too.
Please, dude. Please. This guy. Hey, what's Joe Mixon up to, big dog? What's that guy been doing anything? Or, that guy can't wait for fucking Halloween, dude. That guy cannot wait, dude. That fool's going to be strapped back for Halloween.
Absolutely.
I will say, just side note, that the other day I watched a video about, because I always wanted to understand cricket. I don't know if you guys know cricket, but it's one of the second most popular sport in the world, next to soccer.
Really?
Yeah, look that shit up. Pull it up.
I'm gonna take homie's word for it, dude. I'm gonna take his word for it.
I'm almost confident that it's number 2 in the world. And so I watched a video. It's like understanding cricket for baseball fans, because like obviously people associate cricket and baseball as the same thing. It's a ball and you got to use a bat to hit. But I can confidently say after watching that video that like I still don't understand cricket. That shit is so confusing. I'm gonna link that video to you guys so y'all can watch it. But it is an insane sport that I don't know how it's so popular.
Well, it's like Pakistanis and Indian dudes, right? It's a lot of those dudes that play that shit.
Pretty popular in Europe too.
Right. Oh yeah. I guess like some of the better ones are like Indian dudes, Pakistanis,
and like I wasn't aware like how many views like some of like their equivalent to like the World Series is like ridiculous. But it is an interesting sport. It's the sport that's played with the complete 360-degree field. Like you can hit the ball anywhere.
Oh shit!
Wow. I didn't know that. I always thought that you just had to hit it straight, but no, the whole field is open to play, and wherever you hit the ball, wherever it goes, that's the thing. I don't even know if this is going to the show at this point. But
yeah, I'll throw it in. Yeah.
But
a lot of chest hair, I would imagine.
All right.
I bet Kitty would look like a fucking coach, like a fucking sick ass Pakistani coach.
Yeah.
Just fucking chest hair, taco meat out.
And I guess apparently the game's like hella dangerous too, because like getting hit by the ball is actually like a part of the game.
Oh fuck!
Because like you have these sticks that you have to protect, and if they knock over all 3 sticks, then your turn is over basically. So a lot of the guys kind of take that hit or kind of defend that, and will get hit by that ball to protect those sticks.
Okay. A lot of black guys playing cricket. You said it's popular everywhere, but I don't think I've ever even seen the game of cricket played. If you asked me, you mentioned that there are some similarities to baseball, and I kind of remembered, I guess what the bat looks like, but
it's like a flat paddle.
Yeah. But anytime I imagine like this sport that is just completely foreign or niche or something, I always imagine there's let's say an untapped demographic, someone who I kind of imagine somebody's gonna just turn the cricket world on its head once in a while, because like there's just, it seems ripe for exploitation. Not that kind of exploitation. Not that kind of exploitation, Brandon.
Take it easy. Reel her on back, Doug. Reel her on back. Here.
What made you transition from trying to befriend crows to looking up the rules of cricket?
No, that was just one of those things that like I was just
like a WOG, like a Game of Thrones friend, like where you can like did you see that in Game of Thrones where
I've never seen Game of Thrones though.
So one of the characters channels in and like through his mind turns into a crow and can see everything the crow sees, and so that was fucking sick. Those scenes were sick. I just remember that right now. I was like, I'm gonna get fucking panic high and go watch that right now.
The thing with the crows is I've been wanting to befriend a crow because they're pretty cool. And I was telling Ken, I guess
I've seen those things manipulate traffic.
Yeah, their intelligence level. Their intelligence level is, I believe they said that is almost a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, and they recognize faces. They tend to stay in one specific area, and they're very, very smart. And there's been people that like befriend them by giving them gifts, and they'll come up to them, sit next to them, hang out with them. They'll feed them, and
I read a story.
They'll bring you gifts too.
Yeah, I read a story where like these kids, like, well, I don't know if it was like some point early on in high school where it was like sophomore or junior year, fucked with a bunch of crows, and on their fucking graduation, the crows were like pecking the chicks in the head, dude. They like remembered who they were, and they were like, "Yep, oh, big night for you, huh? Here you go." They're just like pecking them.
And I just think it'd be cool to be able to walk out and just be like, because crows mate for life too. So if they have two crows and they have a family, like you walk out, those crows are always going to be in your yard. Like,
dude, I gotta do the Mike meme where like it's like, what is that the word? Like, they don't know I can control crows, and they're like, why is he staring at that bird out the window like at the party? You know?
Yeah.
Like they don't know I can control crows. And then,
that guy smells like bird shit.
Dude, why is that guy have sunflower seeds falling out of his pocket?
That's fine. We've definitely entered the hits blunt territory of this episode. I think we're swirling the drain on this one.
That is a sick idea, though.
If you're still listening at this point,
yeah,
you're dark.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, just name off that one person.
You that 20, dog. I'll get you that 20 back, player. He's just listening to see if I bet or not. That bookie I owe is fucking listening to the end to see where the fuck I'm at. That's why we don't do the face when Kenny doesn't, because I don't want him to see like where I'm living now. So like
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the promo poster for this episode where it's just us three with the giant face swap.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The MMA special.
Won't be any images of us. But yeah, I do got to work on the thumbnails pretty soon. I mean, if you want, I could take a screenshot. We can for gags. Hold on.
Face swap is peak comedy of MMA.
It's so crazy because I used to post the like whatever photos or whatever of the show on my story. So on my fucking iPhone, it like regulates like all your favorites. And so all my favorite pics is like my daughter, my son, my girl, and then Kenny on the bottom in some weird ass face. Yeah. It's like, well, what are we making today? It's like, fuck, dude. And then I'm like all disgusted because then I have to choose that one because like, yes, I am making another podcast meme. Yes. Like, fuck, I'm sorry.
Oh,
like, don't you want to like do something with your kids? Like, no.
Actually,
no.
Actually, I will make a mock screen where it's me with that picture from that burglar from the first Three Ninjas movies, your Hornswoggle photo, and Michael Pena for Mike or something like that.
No, that from what is that one with Seth Rogen? What is that from that movie Seth Rogen did with Michael Pena? It's that. Either like they're fucking security guards in the mall. One?
Yeah, that's all fucking depressing.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was a comedy.
Yeah.
Observer Report. Yeah,
that was a good fucking movie, dude.
That's not Michael Pena. That's I thought that was Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite.
No, absolutely not. You're an idiot.
It's Michael Pena. I mean, that's a movie and a half right there, right?
Michael Pena was in Observer Report.
Oh.
Yeah, he was his buddy. Remember, he like drives the fucking car through the mall.
I think there's another mall movie where Pedro's in it. Is it that one with Dane Cook?
Is it Paul Blart?
No, I've never watched Paul Blart. I have some standards. I may be a WMMA fan, but I didn't watch Paul Blart. Anyways, let's put a bow on it, gentlemen. Mike, will you be joining us for the recap episode?
Yeah, I'll definitely try to make it if you guys want me back. Yeah,
no, for sure. If you're gonna be on here making picks and stuff, you gotta come back to eat crow if you're wrong about your Virna Jandiroba pick. Thanks for joining us. It was a fun episode. Appreciate you helping out too, pulling up breaking news. We've never had that because honestly, it's I don't think either of us really get into our phones. It's normally checking notifications afterwards. So that's fun. You're always welcome back anytime, Mike. So we'll see you in the next one. And to anybody who's been listening, if you like this episode, if you have any topics of anything that you want us to discuss, or any thoughts about this episode and our picks, please share them in the comments down below. Consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss any of our future episodes, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.